Well, great. Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. For the first, I will say thank you to Mr. Gafur to give me time and change to review the materials that we have discussed. There are four materials that we have discussed, but I don't forget to introduce myself. My name is Haris. I'm the fifth semester of TBE class. Well, I'll order from the first materials, that is the brief story of language teaching. Talking about the story of language teaching, there are many kind of the story. This is one of learning process. Learning process is the story of learning language. And the second meeting we have discussed the natural approach and method in language teaching. There are kinds of the natural approach and method in language teaching. As we know, there are foreign language, second language, and public speaking and bilingual program. The four of that is to make student easy to understand dealing with different kind of student. As we know that there are many kinds of student that have different kind to make them understand, like auditory and what's that? I mean, they like learn by media like a video, or they like listening, or they like writing like that. This is the natural approach of method in language teaching. And the third is the oral approach and situation language teaching. Talking about the oral approach or situation of language teaching, I think we know the behaviorism theory. I have learned behaviorism theory. We give some stimulus to the student or commands to the student, then the student will do what we want. This is one of the oral approach and situation language teaching. And the third or the last materials, we have discussed English as foreign language and English as a second language. I have question in that meeting, namely why English become foreign language in nowadays. I asked it to Mr. Gafur, and you answer that there's no problem of that. There is no problem of our learning. Well, this is because of days by days, and because of learning by learning of the student, that make English become a foreign language. It is the same as foreign language and English as a second language. For the first language, my first language or my mother tongue is Madura, and I don't know what second language for me. It's that English or Indonesia, not Indonesia, or the other language. But I think English for me is foreign language, and I want English become my second language. That's all that I can review for this chance. Forgive me if you find mistake. I am Haris, the 5th semester of TBE class. I say thank you. Wassalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.